Did you know that white chocolate makes up around 10% of global chocolate sales? While it may not be as popular as dark or milk chocolate, its smooth, creamy texture has a dedicated fan base. But how is white chocolate actually made? In today's video, we'll take you inside a factory to see how white chocolate is made, from raw ingredients to final packaging. Let's get started. The process begins with selecting high-quality cocoa beans. These beans come from the pods of the cocoa tree and are chosen based on factors like origin, variety, and flavor. Once harvested, the beans go through fermentation and drying, which are crucial for developing their signature taste and aroma. After drying, they are roasted to enhance their flavor and make it easier to remove the outer shells. Next, the roasted beans are crushed into small pieces called cocoa nibs. These nibs are then pressed to extract cocoa butter, leaving behind a solid residue known as cocoa cake, which is often used to make cocoa powder. Meanwhile, milk is dehydrated, usually through spray drying or freeze drying, to create milk powder. This helps preserve it for a long time and ensures it blends well with the other ingredients. Sugar and emulsifiers are also prepared to improve the consistency of the chocolate. Emulsifiers help mix the cocoa butter with the dry ingredients for a smooth texture. Vanilla may be added in powder or liquid form depending on the recipe to enhance the flavor and color. Before mixing, all ingredients must be at the right temperature and texture. First, dry ingredients like sugar and milk powder are placed into a specialized mixer. These machines ensure an even mix before adding any liquids. Once the dry ingredients are well blended, liquid cocoa butter is added. The cocoa butter must be at the right temperature to mix smoothly with the dry ingredients. If the recipe calls for it, vanilla is added at this stage. An emulsifier, such as soy lecithin, is also included to improve the texture and ensure all ingredients combine properly. Once mixing is complete, tests are conducted to check the texture, flavor, and consistency. Next, the white chocolate mixture is transferred to a refining machine under controlled conditions to maintain quality. This machine uses heavy metal rollers that rotate at different speeds, applying pressure to crush and refine the particles. The refined white chocolate is then transferred to a conching machine, which mixes and aerates the chocolate under controlled temperature and time. The mixture is heated to a specific temperature, usually between 45 degrees Celsius and 80 degrees Celsius, depending on the recipe. This heat helps blend the ingredients, release unwanted acidic compounds, and improve the overall texture. The chocolate is constantly stirred to ensure even heat distribution and smoothness. Once the chocolate reaches the perfect consistency and taste, the conching process is stopped. The chocolate is now smooth, creamy, and well-balanced. Tempering is a crucial process that gives white chocolate its smooth and glossy finish. After tempering, the chocolate is kept at the right temperature to prevent unwanted crystal formation. Molds are selected based on the desired shape and size of the final white chocolate product. These molds, made of plastic, silicone, or metal, are designed to withstand the cooling and demolding process. The tempered white chocolate is then poured into the molds, ensuring an even distribution. This can be done manually or with specialized machines. Once filled, the molds are gently tapped or placed on vibrating tables to remove air bubbles, ensuring a smooth texture and flawless surface. The chocolate is gradually cooled to prevent thermal shock and ensure proper crystallization of the cocoa butter, avoiding unwanted fat crystals. Each piece is then inspected to confirm it has the correct shape, size, and texture, without surface defects. Once fully cooled and solidified, the chocolate is carefully removed from the molds to maintain its perfect shape and smooth appearance. Each piece is visually inspected for any defects, such as bubbles, spots, or irregular shapes. The type of packaging depends on the product. It can be bags, boxes, or individual wrappers. The packages are sealed to protect the chocolate from air, humidity, and other environmental factors. Labels are then applied, including important details such as expiration date, ingredients, net weight, and product name. Finally, the chocolates are stored in a controlled environment until they are ready for distribution to stores. Now, let's dive into the fascinating process of how instant noodles are made. It all starts with mixing wheat flour, water, and other ingredients to create a dough. This dough is rolled into thin sheets and then cut into long, thin noodle strands. Next, the noodles are steamed to cook them partially. After steaming, they go through a shaping process to form the familiar noodle blocks. To remove moisture and preserve them for a long time, the noodles are either deep-fried in hot oil or air-dried. Once dried, they are cooled and checked for quality. Then, they are packed with seasoning sachets, which contain flavors like chicken, beef, or vegetables. Finally, the noodles are sealed in cups or packets ready to be shipped to stores. Next up, let's explore the process of making apple juice in factory. The journey begins with selecting fresh and high-quality apples. These apples are washed thoroughly to remove dirt and impurities. After washing, they are crushed and pressed to extract the juice. The extracted juice is then filtered to remove any solid pieces like seeds or pulp. To improve its taste and shelf life, the juice is pasteurized by heating it to a high temperature for a short time. This process kills bacteria while keeping the juice fresh. After pasteurization, the juice is cooled and stored in large tanks. Before packaging, it goes through a final quality check to ensure it meets safety and taste standards. Finally, the juice is poured into bottles, cartons, or cans, sealed and labeled. The packaged apple juice is then ready to be shipped to stores. Cutting meat is far more challenging than it appears. For years, factory workers handled this task manually, often risking injuries. Automated machines, like those designed by S Company from New Zealand, have revolutionized this process. Their systems use specialized disc blades that move and cut carcasses with precision, eliminating the need for manual handling. Automation ensures efficiency, consistency, and high standards. Advanced automation technology plays a crucial role in processing lambs safely and effectively. This technology reduces the risk of injury significantly. Automated equipment handling these high-speed cuts, human hands are far from harm's way, making the workplace safer and more efficient. As we continue, let's take a look at how popcorn is made in a factory. The process starts with selecting high-quality corn kernels. These kernels are cleaned to remove dust and unwanted particles. After cleaning, they are dried to the right moisture level, which is crucial for making them pop properly. Next, the kernels are placed into large popping machines where they are heated using hot air or oil. The heat causes the moisture inside the kernels to turn into steam, making them expand and pop into fluffy popcorn. Once popped, the popcorn is seasoned with butter, cheese, caramel, or other flavors. It is then cooled to keep it crispy and fresh. After cooling, the popcorn is carefully packed into bags, boxes, or microwavable packets. Finally, the packaged popcorn goes through quality checks before being shipped to stores. And here we have an ice cream sandwich factory. In the assembly line, the ice cream is dispensed onto one cookie layer using automated machinery. Another cookie is placed on top, forming the sandwich. The sandwiches are then passed through a pressing machine to ensure uniform size and shape. Next, the sandwiches are flash frozen to maintain their structure and texture. Finally, they are individually wrapped, boxed, and stored in cold storage. This factory in the Netherlands produces thousands of syrup waffles daily. Right here, we have a marshmallow factory where these fluffy, sweet treats are made. The process begins by mixing simple ingredients like sugar, water, and gelatin, which gives marshmallows their soft and bouncy texture. The mixture is heated and whipped until it becomes light and airy like a thick foam. This fluffy mixture is then poured into molds or onto large trays to set. Once cooled and firm, the marshmallow is cut into small, bite-sized pieces. To prevent sticking, the pieces are often dusted with powdered sugar or cornstarch. For flavored or colored marshmallows, ingredients like vanilla or food coloring are added during mixing. Finally, the marshmallows are packaged into plastic bags or boxes, ready to be enjoyed. Whether eaten on their own, in hot chocolate, or roasted over a fire, factory-made marshmallows are always soft, sweet, and delightful. Toast bread, also known as sliced bread, is made in factories using a simple and efficient process. It starts with mixing ingredients like flour, water, yeast, sugar, and salt to create dough. The dough is kneaded by machines until it becomes smooth and elastic. It is then left to rise, allowing the yeast to make the dough light and fluffy. After rising, the dough is shaped into loaves and baked in large ovens. Once baked, the loaves are cooled and then sliced into even pieces by sharp automated blades. This ensures each slice is uniform and ready for toasting. The sliced bread is then packaged. It is usually placed into plastic bags which are sealed to keep the bread fresh. Some factories also add twist ties or clips to the bags for easy opening and closing. Labels with information like the brand, ingredients, and expiration date are added before the bread is boxed and sent to stores. Toast bread is a staple in many homes, perfect for breakfast, sandwiches, or snacks. And here we have an inside look at how canned crabs are made in a factory. Factories use a careful process to ensure they are fresh and safe to eat. First, fresh crabs are cleaned and cooked to bring out their flavor. Cooking the crabs before canning helps preserve their taste and texture. Once cooked, the crab meat is carefully removed from the shells by skilled workers or machines. The crab meat is then inspected for quality and cleaned again to remove any remaining shell pieces. Next, the meat is weighed and placed into cans. A small amount of water or brine is added to keep the crab moist and flavorful. The cans are sealed tightly to lock in freshness and prevent contamination. Finally, the cans are labeled, packed into boxes, and sent to stores. Factories produce thousands of canned crabs every day, making it easy for people to enjoy this delicious seafood anytime. And here, we have the process of making chicken nuggets in a factory, which involves several steps to ensure quality and consistency. Firstly, the chicken used to make nuggets comes from trustworthy suppliers and is carefully inspected to make sure it meets quality standards. After that, the chicken is ground and mixed with a variety of ingredients, such as seasonings, breadcrumbs, and binders, to create a flavorful and cohesive mixture. Next, the seasoned chicken mixture is formed into nugget shapes using molds or extrusion machines. These nuggets are then coated with a breading mixture, which typically consists of flour, salt, and spices to add a crispy outer layer. After breading, the nuggets are typically fried in hot oil to achieve a golden and crispy exterior. Once cooked, the nuggets go through a quality control process to ensure they meet food safety standards. This may involve visual inspection, temperature checks, and sampling for taste and texture. After passing quality control, the nuggets are either packaged for distribution to retailers or restaurants or frozen for later use. Packaging is crucial to maintain freshness and prevent contamination during transportation. While the process of making chicken nuggets in a factory involves multiple steps and the use of machinery, it is important to note that not all chicken nuggets are created equal. Some companies may use higher quality ingredients or follow different production methods to create their nuggets. McDonald's likely produces and sells around 20 to 25 million chicken nuggets daily worldwide, leading to an annual production of over 7 billion nuggets. These figures provide a general sense of the scale of nugget production, though the actual numbers could be higher due to fluctuations in demand and promotional activities.
Who can resist a delicious ice cream bar that's covered in chocolate? The process of making it begins with crafting the ice cream base. High-quality ingredients such as milk, cream, sugar, and flavorings are blended in large tanks to achieve a smooth consistency. Once ready, the base is poured into bar-shaped molds and sent into a blast freezer, where rapid freezing prevents the formation of ice crystals, ensuring the ice cream stays creamy and smooth. When the bars are semi-solid, wooden sticks are inserted into each one. Using robotic arms, the sticks are placed at precise angles to ensure they're stable for handling and dipping. And the bars are then fully frozen to prepare for the next step. Next comes the most exciting part, the chocolate coating. Each bar is carefully dipped into melted chocolate, maintained at the perfect temperature for an even coat. Chocolate hardens almost instantly upon contact with the cold ice cream, forming a crisp shell that seals in the creamy core. Some bars may even be sprinkled with nuts, cookie crumbs, or other toppings before the chocolate sets. Once coated, the bars are transported via conveyor belts to the wrapping station where each is individually sealed in airtight packaging to preserve freshness. After wrapping, the bars pass through a thorough quality control inspection. Inspectors ensure that every bar meets strict standards for size, shape, and appearance. Finally, the ice cream bars are packed into boxes and sent to distribution centers. From cacao farms to bustling factories, the process of making chocolate starts in tropical regions where cacao trees produce large, colorful pods. Inside each pod are cacao beans, which are harvested by hand. Farmers open the pods and scoop out the beans, which are then left to ferment for several days. After fermentation, the beans are dried under the sun for about a week before being packed and sent to chocolate factories. Once the dried beans reach the factory, the first step is roasting. Roasting helps to develop and enhance the flavor of the chocolate. The beans are roasted at a specific temperature and time depending on the type of chocolate being made. During roasting, the shells of the beans become brittle, making it easier to remove them in the next step. The beans release their delicious aroma, filling the factory with the scent of chocolate. After roasting, the beans are cracked open and their outer shells are removed in a process called winnowing. This leaves behind cacao nibs, which are the purest form of chocolate. The nibs are packed with cocoa solids and cocoa butter, both essential for making chocolate. Next, the cacao nibs are ground into a thick paste known as chocolate liquor, a pure liquid form of chocolate rich and intense in flavor. The chocolate liquor then undergoes a process called conching. During conching, the chocolate is continuously mixed and aerated, often for hours or even days, to develop a smooth texture and mellow flavor. Conching breaks down particles, making the chocolate creamier and less gritty. Depending on the type of chocolate, other ingredients like sugar, milk powder, and vanilla are added to the chocolate liquor. For milk chocolate, powdered milk gives it a creamy taste, while white chocolate contains no cocoa solids. Only cocoa butter, sugar, and milk powder. These ingredients are carefully measured and mixed in ensuring that every batch has the perfect balance of sweetness and texture. Once the chocolate is blended, it goes through a process called tempering. Tempering involves cooling and reheating the chocolate at specific temperatures to align the cocoa butter crystals. This step is essential for giving chocolate that shiny finish and satisfying snap. Tempering also ensures that the chocolate will have a smooth texture and won't easily melt when handled. After tempering, the liquid chocolate is poured into molds to give it shape, whether it's a bar, truffle, or unique shape. The molds then go through a cooling tunnel where the chocolate solidifies, setting the shape and giving it that glossy appearance we all recognize. Once cooled, the chocolate is ready for packaging. Automated machines wrap each piece with precision, protecting it and ensuring freshness. Packaging is not just for preservation, it's a part of the brand experience, giving each chocolate product its unique look.
Bacon is a breakfast staple, loved for its crispiness and rich flavor. The process of making it starts with selecting high-quality pork bellies. Each piece is inspected for quality, then trimmed to the ideal size and thickness. The pork bellies go through a curing process where they're seasoned with a mixture of salt, sugar, and spices. This step not only adds flavor, but also preserves the meat, giving bacon its unique taste. The pork bellies are cooled and then sliced into thin, even strips. Automated slicers ensure each piece is the perfect thickness, whether it's thick cut or regular. The slices are then carefully packed to keep them fresh. Each package goes through quality control to ensure consistency and safety. Next up, let's explore the production of breakfast sandwich. The process begins with the buns. As they enter the production line, they're quickly sorted and organized by a highly efficient conveyor system. Each bun is automatically aligned and fed into slicing machines. These machines split each bun, perfectly separating the top and bottom halves in one swift motion. Next, the protein selection. In a modern breakfast sandwich, this could mean sausage patties, ham, or bacon. These different proteins are sorted, using a system that distinguishes each type and organizes them. With the patties perfectly sorted, robotic arms take over. Each patty is carefully picked up and placed onto the bottom half of a sliced bun. The robots work with a high degree of accuracy, ensuring each one is centered on the bun. The next step is adding the cheese. The factory uses a cheese extrusion system that slices and dispenses each cheese portion right onto the patty. Once the cheese is in place, the top half of the bun is added. This step requires exact timing so that the bun is added without disturbing the other ingredients. A robotic arm lifts the top bun and places it directly over the cheese, completing the basic structure of the sandwich. Now that the sandwich is assembled, it moves to the flow wrapper loading station. Here, the sandwich is placed into a wrapper that seals it for freshness. This wrapper is crucial for protecting the sandwich during transport and maintaining its quality until it's ready to be enjoyed by customers. Finally, the wrapped sandwiches are collected and organized into boxes for shipping. Bacon is a breakfast staple, loved for its crispiness and rich flavor. The process of making it starts with selecting high-quality pork bellies. Each piece is inspected for quality, then trimmed to the ideal size and thickness. The pork bellies go through a curing process where they're seasoned with a mixture of salt, sugar, and spices. This step not only adds flavor, but also preserves the meat, giving bacon its unique taste. The pork bellies are cooled and then sliced into thin, even strips. Automated slicers ensure each piece is the perfect thickness, whether it's thick cut or regular. The slices are then carefully packed to keep them fresh. Each package goes through quality control to ensure consistency and safety. The base of every taco is the tortillas. The process of making it starts with simple ingredients: corn or wheat flour, water, and salt. These are mixed into dough, which is then kneaded until smooth. Machines roll the dough into thin sheets and cut it into perfect circles. Next, the tortillas are cooked on large hot griddles that quickly bake them on both sides. This gives them their soft texture and delicious taste. After cooking, they are cooled to prevent moisture buildup and keep them fresh. Once cooled, the tortillas are stacked, counted, and packaged by machines to ensure they stay clean and intact. Before leaving the factory, they go through quality checks to make sure they meet food safety standards. Finally, the packaged tortillas are shipped to stores and restaurants, ready to be enjoyed in tacos, burritos, and many other tasty dishes. And here we have a beef sausages factory. The production of sausages starts with selecting the finest cuts of meat. The meat is then trimmed of excess fat and diced into small pieces. Next, the meat is fed into a grinding machine, where it is minced to the desired consistency. This step is crucial in ensuring that the sausage has a smooth and even texture. Once the meat is minced, it is time to add seasonings and spices. This is where the magic happens, as the blend of spices gives each type of sausage its unique flavor profile. Ingredients such as salt, pepper, garlic, and paprika are commonly used to enhance the taste. Meanwhile, natural casings made from the intestines of animals are prepared for filling. These casings are flexible and allow the sausage to retain its shape while cooking. The seasoned meat mixture is then fed into a sausage stuffing machine, which fills the casings with the meat mixture. The machine ensures that the sausages are evenly filled and properly sealed. After the sausages are filled, they are linked together to form long chains. This process helps in portioning the sausages and makes them easier to handle during cooking. Some sausages are then smoked to enhance their flavor. They are hung on racks in a smoking room where they are exposed to a controlled amount of smoke for a specific period of time. This adds a rich, smoky flavor to the sausages. Finally, the sausages are ready for packaging. They are either vacuum sealed for freshness or placed in trays for display. The packaging ensures that the sausages remain fresh and flavorful until they reach the consumer's plate. Now, let's dive into the fascinating world of dumpling production in a modern factory. Every day, millions of dumplings are made using fresh ingredients and advanced machines. The goal is to keep the same delicious taste as homemade dumplings while making them quickly and efficiently. The process starts with mixing flour and water to make soft dough. At the same time, fresh vegetables, meat, and seasonings are prepared for the filling. Machines roll out the dough into thin wrappers and carefully fill each one with the tasty mixture. Then, the dumplings are folded and sealed just like they would be by hand. Some dumplings are steamed, boiled, or frozen, depending on how they will be sold. After a final quality check, they are packed and sent to supermarkets and restaurants. Customers can then cook and enjoy them at home. Here at the Gruen Fish Factory, you'll find state-of-the-art facilities that were recently renovated with new advanced equipment. One highlight is the MSC 55MA slicer, which can cut salmon into slices between 2 to 60 millimeters thick at precise angles ranging from 10 degrees to 70 degrees. Equally impressive is the deboning system, which works at an incredible speed of up to 50 fillets per minute, with an accuracy of just 0.2 millimeters. Over 50 billion burger patties are consumed worldwide each year. Whether served in a fast food restaurant or cooked at home, they provide a delicious and convenient meal option. But how are these patties made on such a massive scale? From selecting the meat to packaging. The process involves several steps. Each step ensures that the patties are safe to eat and taste great. Let's take a closer look at how beef patties are made on a large scale in a factory setting. The first step in making beef patties is selecting high-quality meat. Factories usually source beef from reliable farms and suppliers. The meat used in patties often comes from different parts of the cow, including chuck, round, and sirloin. These cuts are chosen because they provide a good balance of flavor and fat content, which is important for a juicy burger. Before the meat is accepted into the factory, it goes through an inspection process. This ensures that it meets food safety standards and is free from harmful bacteria or contamination. The beef is also checked for the right color, texture, and freshness. Once the meat is selected and inspected, it moves to the grinding stage. The meat is placed in large industrial grinders, which break it down into small pieces. This process helps create the right texture for the patties. Factories usually grind the meat twice. The first grind reduces the meat into coarse pieces, while the second grind makes it finer and more uniform. This step also helps mix the fat and lean meat evenly, ensuring that every patty has the same texture and juiciness. After grinding, the beef is transferred to a mixing machine. Some patties are made from 100% beef, while others may include seasonings, salt, or preservatives. If any additional ingredients are needed, they are added at this stage. The mixing process is carefully controlled to ensure consistency. Large machines blend the ingredients evenly, making sure that every patty has the same taste and quality. Once the meat is properly mixed, it moves to the patty-forming machines. These machines shape the ground beef into uniform patties using molds or presses. The size and thickness of the patties depend on the factory's specifications. Some patties are thin, while others are thick and juicy. Factories use high-speed machines that can produce thousands of patties per hour. These machines ensure that each patty is the same size and weight, which is important for cooking consistency. The formed patties are then placed on conveyor belts, where they move to the next stage of the process. To keep the patties fresh and safe for transportation, they are frozen immediately after forming. Factories use special freezing methods, such as flash freezing or blast freezing. These techniques help preserve the texture, flavor, and quality of the meat. Flash freezing involves exposing the patties to extremely low temperatures in a short period. This prevents ice crystals from forming inside the meat, which can affect the texture. By freezing the patties quickly, factories ensure that they remain fresh until they reach the consumer. Before packaging, they go through a strict quality control process. This step is important to ensure that every batch meets food safety standards and customer expectations. Factory workers and automated machines check for several factors, including weight and size. Each patty must be the correct weight and thickness. Texture and appearance. The patties should be evenly shaped and free from defects. The freezing process must be checked to ensure the patties are stored at the correct temperature. Bacteria testing. Samples of the patties are tested in laboratories to make sure they do not contain harmful bacteria, like E. coli or Salmonella. If a batch of patties does not meet quality standards, it is removed from production to ensure that only the best products reach consumers. After passing all quality checks, the patties are ready for packaging. They are placed in plastic wrap, vacuum-sealed bags, or boxes, depending on where they will be sold. Some factories package patties in bulk for restaurants, while others create smaller packs for grocery stores. The packaging process is designed to keep the patties safe from contamination. Automated machines carefully place the patties in sealed containers, ensuring that they remain hygienic and fresh. The packaged patties are loaded onto trucks and shipped to different locations. Some go to fast food chains, while others are sent to grocery stores and supermarkets. Tabasco's hot sauce has been adding flavor and heat to dishes for over 150 years. The process of making it starts with the Tabasco pepper, which is grown right here on Avery Island. These peppers are carefully handpicked when they reach their peak ripeness, vibrant red and full of flavor. To ensure the perfect ripeness, workers use a tool called le petit bâton rouge, a small red stick that matches the color of the ideal pepe. If the pepper matches the stick, it's ready to be picked. Once harvested, the peppers are brought to the factory where they're immediately processed into what's called pepper mash. The peppers are crushed and combined with salt, also sourced from the salt mines of Avery Island. This salt not only acts as a preservative, but also enhances the flavor. The pepper mash is then placed into oak barrels, where it begins a crucial part of the Tabasco sauce-making process fermentation. One of the secrets to Tabasco's signature taste is time. These barrels of pepper mash are aged for up to 3 years. During this time, the flavors develop and mature, creating the complex heat and depth that Tabasco sauce is known for. The barrels are sealed with a thick layer of Avery Island salt, which acts as a natural barrier, protecting the mash while allowing the flavors to slowly develop. After fermentation, the aged mash is removed from the barrels and transferred to large stainless steel vats. After aging, the pepper mash is transferred to vats where it's blended with high-quality vinegar. This is where the mash begins to transform into the Tabasco sauce we all know and love. The vinegar helps mellow the intense heat of the peppers while adding a tangy kick, perfectly balancing the sauce. The mash and vinegar are blended and left to sit for several weeks, allowing the flavors to meld together. Once the mash has been fully combined with the vinegar, it's strained to remove any skins or seeds, resulting in a smooth, fiery sauce. This step ensures that each bottle of Tabasco has the perfect texture. Next comes the bottling process. The smooth Tabasco sauce is poured into the iconic glass bottles, sealed with the green-capped lids and labeled for distribution. Every day, the factory produces thousands of bottles of Tabasco sauce, ready to be shipped to over 195 countries around the world. Before any bottle leaves the factory, it undergoes rigorous quality control checks. Every batch is tested to ensure it meets the high standards set by the McElhenney family, who've been producing Tabasco sauce for generations. Once bottled and inspected, the Tabasco sauce is packed into boxes and shipped to restaurants and grocery stores across the globe. The production process of high-quality almond milk is complicated and requires multiple steps. It all starts with the almond tree. Once almonds have matured, they are harvested using mechanical tree shakers. These machines shake the almonds loose, which are then collected and sent to the factory for processing. The first step at the factory is cleaning the almonds. They're washed thoroughly to remove dust and any residual debris. After washing, the almonds are sorted by size and quality to ensure that only the best almonds are used for milk production. Once sorted, the almonds are blanched. This means they're soaked in hot water to soften the skins, making them easier to remove. After blanching, the almonds are peeled, leaving behind the smooth almond kernel. The next step is grinding. The peeled almonds are ground into a fine paste. This is the base of almond milk, and the finer the grind, the smoother the final product will be. To turn almond paste into milk, it is mixed with water. The water helps to extract the natural oils and flavor from the almonds, creating that smooth, creamy texture that almond milk is known for. After mixing, the almond water mixture is filtered to remove the remaining almond pulp. What's left is a pure, silky almond milk. The pulp is often repurposed as a byproduct for other uses, such as almond flour. To make almond milk nutritious, many manufacturers fortify it with essential vitamins like calcium and vitamin D, which are typically found in dairy milk. This is also where different flavors like vanilla or chocolate are added to enhance the taste. Sweeteners such as cane sugar or natural flavors are mixed in to suit different preferences. Next, the almond milk is homogenized. This process breaks down the fat molecules, so the milk has a smooth, uniform consistency without separating over time. After homogenization, the almond milk is pasteurized. Heating it to a specific temperature kills any harmful bacteria and ensures that the milk stays fresh for a longer period. Finally, the almond milk is packaged. It's poured into eco-friendly cartons or bottles, sealed and labeled with nutritional information and expiration dates.